Tzolk'in itself. And the Hunab-Ku, the one and only giver of movement and measure, the great central sun and black hole at the epicenter of the omniverse, the maker and modeler of all existence and non-existence, heart of earth, heart of sky, Hunab-Ku. Greetings, Een Lak'esh Alakin. I am another you, you are another me. We are one Godsciousness. And I am Crispy, a Gaian, Mayan, Pleiadian emissary of light. And I'm very excited to share with you today the deeper significance, the inner standing of Mayan embodiment astrology. Today happens to be my 55th birthday. I was born 2 days after Christmas in 1968. And about 9 months later, Neil Armstrong was the first man to walk down a fake ladder onto a fake lunar surface and declare, one small step for man, one giant leap for the scam of humankind. True story. And back to reality. The divine Mayan Tzolk'in is 5,136 years old, approximately, although it might also be 5 million or 5 billion. You see, it came to Earth from the Pleiades, but it did not originate there. The Pleiadians used it for untold millennia, and then 4 Pleiadian men and 4 Pleiadian women came to Earth, let's say 5,137 years ago. Who knows, really? And taught who we call the Maya about their calendar, the Tzolk'in. That's one pronunciation. It's also called Cholkish or Cholkib, and many other names in different regions. That's not important, what people call it. And it's actually not important the differences between terminologies of glyphs and numbers or tones, as I prefer to call them. The numbers don't represent quantity. They represent vibration. They represent quality. They also represent this flow of time, and therefore the chakras. Did you notice those colors? Aren't those nice? It's so cool that there are 7 colors to the rainbow and 7 chakras, main chakras in the human body. So this 13 day of flowing time is the main loop that's happening. And the other main loop that is happening are these 20 glyphs. And they just keep going around and around. And they also keep going up and down. And that is the DNA connection of the divine Mayan Tzolk'in calendar. And it just so happens to be that it also perfectly is a fractal, a telescoping fractal of the precession of the equinoxes. So these Pleiadians who came down with this message to humanity were trying to tell us that we are are perfectly balanced. Every single human being has a divine masculine power and a divine feminine power, because so does the Creatorix, the Hunab Ku, if you like to call it that, source, prime creator, to borrow a Pleiadian term. Everything is two things, light and dark. They both need each other. Neither can exist without the other. Neither is good nor bad. They together create wholeness. That is all. Now, on the day that I was born, the Mayan date was 7 Eagle, which you could say is Uk Men in the pronunciation of the Yucatan region, which might extend over to Lacamha, or as the Spanish called it, Palenque, and go all the way up and through the Yucatan. And what happened to me one day during meditation was this was zapped into me. It's completely different from the way the Maya teach it, although they do teach we all have these same 4 guides, as I call them, and it is mostly taught through here. So my birthday is right here. It's Keen 215, the 215th day out of 260, and they say count back to find this one, and back a little more to find that one, and forward, and then you got to go over here, so it gets a little bit confusing, and I could never figure that out, or at least I could say I could never picture it in my mind. It was frustrating. For all of the people who were born below this line, you have to go up to another line to even imagine it, and I just couldn't do it. One day I was meditating about it, and like I said, this came through. I literally felt my right hand being tightly gripped by my divine masculine guide, and my left hand was caressed and open. And at first I felt this, and I looked over, and then I looked up and saw my past wisdom guide just 2 steps away from my divine masculine guide. And then this gentle feeling pulled my attention this way, and I looked up, and that whole experience lasted for 1 second or less, just to get it in me. And it freaked me out, actually, because I do not get visions when I meditate. I've been meditating for a very long time in this lifetime, and I even don't get visions when I'm listening to a guided meditation. For example, this whole book, I was gifted with the audiobook by the author, Kaya Ra, or her angels, I'm not sure who it was, gave me the audiobook, and I listened to it over and over, and I never saw a single thing. That's not the way my third eye works. I feel things. It was very emotional. So the day that this came through, life-changing. No, It's quite funny to me that I have no idea what day it was on the Divine Mind's Keen calendar because I wasn't following daily at that time. So, sorry, needs to remain a mystery. I do believe it was in 2016, possibly in September. Honestly, I really don't know because, like I said, it freaked me out and I put it away. I didn't know what to do with it. Well, at first I emailed a book publisher of a few Mayan books and an author, 2 authors, and I said, hey, you guys take it. You write books, you have a publishing company, please, just take it. It's amazing, it's a breakthrough. I don't know what to do. Sorry, here, go. And, I tried to ignore it. And of course that was not supposed to happen. Exactly 1 year later-ish, 1 year from the time I told them, please take this, I told them, I'm taking it back. And then I began to create what is now Mayan embodiment astrology. And it has morphed and blossomed and become so much more than that initial vision. Because I realized I had to stand behind every single key code word and phrase associated with it. I had to choose words for the tones and the glyphs that I felt were completely true. The more I researched, I read all these Pleiadian books and all of these Pleiadian websites and videos. I read every Mayan book I could find, every Mayan website I could find, and I synthesized and amalgamated all of the terms and key code words and phrases into what I feel is the core essence of what the Pleiadians were trying to get across 5,000 years ago or 3,000 years ago or 150 years ago or 30 years ago. We will never know, and it has to remain that way. It cannot be something that the left brain says, I know what happened. It can't be like that. It has to be the right mind is open to fluidity, and it is in the harmonization of that where I have this enormous understanding of data and this fluid intuition of the feeling of what is right. And I am very happy and confident to give to you what I know to be true. This system is so empowering, my friends. Let me talk to you a little bit about today. Today, December 27th, 2023, is Keen 23, okay? So this is Keen 1, Keen 20, 21, 22, 23. And those are 2 bars, which is tone 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And the glyph is what you see here, sometimes called house, sometimes called night. I call it dusk. Some people call it dawn, but for me, dawn is like 10 minutes later the sun comes up and then it's gone, so it's definitely not dawn. It is definitely the bringers of the dawn, this glyph. And today, which I call manifesting dusk, which you could also call manifesting dreams, our two birthday boys are George Clooney and Gabriel Garcia Marquez. Now, there are, of course, key code words with each glyph and each tone, and I like to put them together in what I call high vibration phrases. Now, if I'm doing this for you, I always ask you, what's going on in your life? What are some challenges? What do you want to learn from your Mayan embodiment astrology? Because there's at least 10 key code words for each, and that's 100 possible combinations if you don't even do the order shifting. So there's about 130 possible high vibration phrases for each and every day. Okay? And then, because each of us has 4 other days, they are days. I do call them guides. They are other people born on each of those days. But more than this, they are you. This pattern is you on the day you were born. And the positions. The fascinating thing I found out after this was downloaded into me is that the order is numerological in this pattern. Past wisdom, divine feminine, divine masculine, future vision. So, for example, myself. Well, let's talk about today. Today is tone 10 of the dusk glyph, manifesting dust. Manifesting dusk. Here's what happens. From 10, now remember we're in a base 13 counting system. From whatever day it is, whatever your birthday is, you count up 5. So 10, 11, 12, 13, 1, 2. 2 is the past wisdom guide. 3, 4, 5. That's the way it works for every single human being. Nobody teaches it this way. The Maya do not teach it that way. Western people who learned Mayan astrology do not teach it that way. In any of the books and websites I've read, nobody even mentions that pattern. It's so simple and so beautiful. The other thing that I need to say here is, on a very multi-dimensional way, this wheel of 20, inside of which is a wheel of 13, inside of which is you, is a representation of DNA, like we've been saying. So, DNA, which is inside every cell of your body, can be seen as outside of you, and you are inside DNA, and it also, did I mention, is a telescoping fractal of the precession of the equinoxes. Would you like to talk multidimensionality? Divine Mayan Tzolk'in calendar. So, I was born on tone 7, so 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12, 13, 1, 2. Now the glyphs are similarly simple. I was born on Eagle, which is the 15th glyph. Now, to be fair, there are other regions that do not start on Inish. Some regions like to say that Chuen, or Bats, the monkey, is the first glyph. It doesn't really matter, because this pattern remains no matter where you put day 1. Okay? This DNA 13 by 20. Oh yeah, that's a fun one too. Did I count that out for you yet? So 13 is the major joints of the human body. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and hip, knee, ankle, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So, did you notice the as above, so below there? We have 6 ankle, knee, hip, matching wrist, elbow, shoulder. And the neck, the 7th column of 13, divides them equally, reflects them, which is partly why tone 7 is called reflecting. So I am reflecting eagle, but today is manifesting dusk. Now, it just so happens that dusk is my future vision guide. Not tone 10, which is today. The day I was born, my future vision guide was tone 2, pairing dusk. But today is tone 10, which is quite a bit similar to tone 2, wouldn't you agree? Yes, it is the pair of 5 and 5, manifesting 2 hands, mano a mano, making deals, shaking hands. Now, the other thing we need to talk about is that today, along with tone 4, is the heart chakra. Chakras! You can't evolve without them. I made that up. It's funny because it's true. The Maya, as written about in this book by Mr. Hunbat's men, whom I had the great pleasure to meet and do a workshop with. The Maya knew about the chakras. Hunbat's talked about it in the workshop and in this book, which he signed for me, which is so nice. Where is that? There it is. I think it says, "I love you, Crispy." I don't read Spanish, so I don't know. Of course, the Maya knew about the chakras. They were an extremely psychedelic and spiritual culture. They were, what's the term? Myceliophilic. They loved magic mushrooms. They also fasted and chanted and did bloodletting rituals while high on mushrooms to get visions. That's why they did them. It wasn't recreational. It was usually only the kings or queens or calendar shaman who did those rituals, and they did them on special days on the Divine Mind Zolk'in calendar. They didn't do them randomly. They did them on incredibly special days. And they received visions, and they told their people what to expect. So the way this system works on a personal level is that for me today, turning 55 as I am on manifesting dusk, that day guides my whole next year, manifesting dreams. Now I want to talk a little bit about the pattern of Mayan embodiment that goes into today. So like I said, tone 10, 11, 12, 13, 1, 2, we also need to count back 8. So starting on 3, we go 2, 1, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15. The 15th glyph, eagle, hello. And it was tone 2. So 8 days ago is the past wisdom guide for today. An eagle day. And don't do. What did I say about my future vision guide from the day I was born? Don't do, and I am eagle. So there's a lot of connection here. My past wisdom guide of my birthday for today, which will guide my whole next year, is pairing eagle. So a vision of pairedness, as it were. 3, and again we're on 3, so we go forward 6, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The 9th glyph is offering. 3 of offering. Now my wife happens to be an offering glyph, but she's tone 5, empowering. But tone 3 is called activating. So activating offering is today's divine feminine guide, and therefore my divine feminine guide for the next year of my life. Activating offering. Now if we look over here, we will see offering as my divine masculine guide. Yes, it's kind of funny that my wife is offering and my wife is my divine masculine guide. And if you knew us on a closer level or at all, you would have to believe me, it is completely true. She wears the pants in the family. I wear the shorts. Short pants. Woo. She does the taxes. She does the sort of masculine-oriented activities. But here today, I have activating offering. Now, offering is all about prayer and also karma and making things sacred in one's life, which is a deep part of why I do all of these things in public anyway, because for me, to be my divinely masculine self, tone 1 of the offering, initiating offering, I need to, in my regular daily life, go out and be seen. My right-hand man is my public face, initiating offerings, making prayer, giving respect with intention. I'm doing my best, yo. So now it's my divine feminine guide for this whole rest of the year. Activating offering. So beautiful. Okay, 2, 3, 4. Over here, I've got 4, which I mentioned is the other heart chakra. So today is tone 10, heart chakra, and the masculine is tone 4, stabilizing. For my whole next year, my divine masculine guide is stabilizing. What is it? We need to count back 6. Remember, going forward into the future 6 days. We need to go back 6. So 3, 2, 1, 20, 19, 18, 17. The 17th glyph is called Gaia. Stabilizing Gaia is 2 days and my divine masculine guide for the next 1 year of my life. Stabilizing Gaia. The 4 directions, the 4 seasons, the 4 colors of the Mayan calendar. The 4 elements, the 4 bodies being the red body, the physical, the white body, the spiritual. The blue body is the emotional body, and the yellow glyphs represent the thinking body. And the Gaia, okay? The spirit of Mother Nature, if you will, stabilizing Gaia. That's what I am being guided to do as my outer public face for the next year. And I'm very cool with that. I'm also bringing my activating offering over to my public face. I'm joining my divine feminine and divine masculine powers in my heart chakra. I'm joining them, which I also suggest that you do, my friends, which is a hugely motivational aspect of why I do Mayan embodiment astrology. Every single human being has divine masculine and divine feminine powers. We all do. The goal is to harmonize them in the heart chakra. Harmonize the two, three, four, 5, empowering. And let's count it out, shall we? It's 8 forward from today. Today is the 3rd glyph plus 8. What is that? Come on. 11th glyph is the monkey. Empowering monkey is guiding me today. And for the next 364 after today. The monkey. Oh, so much I can tell you about the monkey. First of all, creativity, performance, art. I drew this myself. It took such a long time. Oh my God. Humor. Class clown, definitely. The trickster. The DJ. That's not going away. Whew. Quick story for you. 30 years ago today, on my 25th birthday, I danced to house music DJs for my first time of my life. I ate. For the first time of my life, I know, late bloomer, I smoked. For about the 3rd time of my life. But what happened was the zooming effect had already taken hold. And then when the hashed potatoes went in, they lifted up the lid and out came this experience that permanently changed my life. I transcended my ego that night, and for maybe 90 minutes or so, I was in this zone that had never happened before. I danced all through the night. I had never done that before. It was December 27th. It was in a basement of a house in which I lived with 4 other guys, and we had a big party. And the DJ was about 20 feet from my bedroom. Nobody slept. Some people left. Those who stayed did not sleep. And I went interdimensional. I transcended the ego. And okay, it was very addictive. I love providing that same vibration for people. It's part of my purpose here on Earth, and this is how I do it on a much larger and permanent level. This is temporary and no less permanent, if you get my drift. 30 years ago today. Now, one other thing I want to teach you is a 13-beat drum rhythm. I believe it transcends both halves of the brain. It joins and enjoins the left and right side through the corpus callosum. It's a 13-beat rhythm that is very trance-inducing. Now, for those of you who do not have a drum, no problem, use your body. What I like to do, here's how it works. It's really simple. It's 3 3s and a 4. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if you want to do that on some skin over here, actually, I'm just going to take off the beautiful jewelry. You cannot do actual drumming with jewelry on, especially the rings, my friends. So take them off and let's get real, shall we? Oh, this one's tight. Come on, come on. Off you go. Good. Now, let's get serious. Let's get real. For those of you that have a djembe, yeah, we're good. We're good. We're good. All right. Just spin you out of the way there. My favorite chair there. All right, so that's your 1, 2, 3, okay? 1, 2, 3. Calms the mind. You can do it in bed before you fall asleep. Just with the hands before you fall asleep. It's incredibly calming and soothing. I highly recommend it. Now, a little bit more about me. Today I have completed 4 years of no alcohol. Yay. Living in Japan was quite challenging for me emotionally. Also because alcohol is so available and cheap. There's 24-hour stores every 100 meters with lots of it. And I was basically unhappy, avoiding things, despite a lot of other good things that were going on in my life. But the day I turned 51, I said, no. And now I am 55, like I said a couple of other times. The other thing I need to bring into this is the fact that every glyph and tone has high vibration phrases, which are combinations of the key code words of each. And what's more than this, they all have the flip side, low vibration phrases, combinations of the, well, for the tones, because this is the tonal, which Carlos Castaneda and Don Juan taught us is the ego. The tonal represents the ego. So each of the, what I will say, are dark or negative energetic patterns of your tones are the ego dramas. And the glyphs, which are the Nahual. Each of these glyphs are more of the spiritual side. The tone is your more ego-based side. The glyphs are your more spiritually based side. But guess what? All of the spirit sides of all of us have a dark side as well. So those are called shadow challenges. Each tone has ego dramas, each glyph has shadow challenges. So together, those keywords, there's 3 for each, by the way. So that makes 9 possible low vibration phrases. And then if you shuffle some of the word order, you could go 13 or 15 possible low vibration phrases. One of them is gonna just trigger you, press your button like, ew! That's the one we work with. Now, of course, as you already know, that's not just for your core self. It's for each of your guiding positions. So if you, in particular, are having trouble with your past, we can find your low vibration phrase based on your past wisdom guide, which is a tone and a glyph. We can find that one phrase that just sets you off out of all 13 of them, because they're all pretty ew, but one of them will just be like, ah! And we look closely at that. And you do some journaling. Maybe you sleep on it. Maybe many times sleep on it, and journaling many days, and what comes up is what we work with face to face on Zoom. If I'm doing your reading, my friend, we're going to get very deep here. If you are having trouble manifesting, which is an outer public face going out, your divine masculine energy, your right hand man, if you will, if you're having trouble manifesting, we're going to find your low vibration phrase based on your tone and glyph for that position. The tone being your tonal, the glyph is your nawal. Your tones are the ego, the glyph is your soul. And like I said, all of the 4 guides are you. It's not separate from you. It is you. This is every human being. Your 4 come into the core. However, you cannot really be your highest functioning core self unless you have dealt with the past wisdom, gaining wisdom from your past, unless you have embraced your divine feminine, harmonized it with your divine masculine. Then once you've done that, of course, your future vision becomes so clear. That's what I'm here to help you with, my friend. It's so beautiful. It's so simple. I could teach this to a 7-year-old and they would understand it. Or a 77-year-old, or a 107-year-old, etc. I am so excited to share this with you. Let's have the greatest year of our life. Een Lak'esh, Alakim